piano founder, and I'm a piano technician. And this webinar is about the boot camp, the beginning of the journey. If you have thought about becoming a piano tuner, you are in the right place. So I'm going to jump right into this. Again, I'm Eric Roberts. I've tuned for everybody from John Legend to Harry Connick Jr., Garth Brooks, Michael Webb from Petra to Toby Mac, and all these guys. I also worked here in Nashville for Neon Cross Studios as a piano tech, working for projects like the Black Crowes, Orville Peck, and even Eric Church and Lenko Band. They're pretty good. And even last month I got called in, actually a couple months ago, for Coldplay. They came here to Nashville, did a big private event, and I was able to get in there and work on their piano. So I've been tuning pianos a long time, and not only just tuning pianos for these celebrities and stars and studios and recordings and things like that, but also just for 9-year-olds and for grandmothers in homes. And that's really the bread and butter of our business. But I wanted you to know that there are enough pianos to tune to make a living. And today we're going to talk about that, because most people look at me really funny when I say I tune pianos for a living. When I say, they kind of look at me like, you do what? Like, is that even a job? Like, it's kind of funny. I'm a little bit more oblivious to it now, but in the beginning it was like I had to kind of convince people that I actually do tune pianos, and I actually do have a business, a real business, and I do that. So my local business has been in business for over 18 years. I've been a piano tech for that long. I live in Nashville now. I started in Dayton, and so overall, altogether, we have over 5,000 clients, and it's mostly just me and my one main partner in Dayton, and I've got a couple contractors here in Nashville that work with me, kind of pick up slack. But this is a real business, and it's a real living. It's been my full-time income since 18 years ago. Here's my 2021 overview. Now my puppy wants to get out. I knew he would do that. In fact, here, come here, Bear. He's trying to get out of here. All right, well, go buddy, go. All right. It's really live. Sorry, he fell asleep in my floor, and then I was like, I knew he was going to wake up and want out. But in 2021, I was able to pay one of my contractors, my Dayton guy, $79,000. That is what he made income tuning, and that was for 3 days a week. He works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that's it. So as you can see, that year we billed over $145,000 in tuning. So why are you here? If you love music and the arts, if you kind of feel like I'm a creative artisan kind of person, I want to do music, but I want to make money. That's kind of what I was thinking too. I was teaching lessons back in the day, and I was like, I need to make more money. Do you want a better future? Maybe you just need more family time. You want a more flexible schedule. You just want to kind of stop working a dead-end grind everyday job. Are you working like that and you feel like, I just want to get out of this. I just want to do something that I love. And that's really my whole philosophy, is do something that you love. Make your own flexible schedule. So if you're looking for a change, if you're looking for a better future, if you want to become a piano tuner, you are in the right place. And so what are we going to learn today in this short, probably about 30-minute session, is how a piano is tuned one string at a time. I'm going to kind of give you an overview, how to train to become a certified piano tuner. And you can even become a certified master piano tech, how you can make over $100 an hour. I'm going to show you the piano tuner math. I'm going to show you right into my business, what I make in a day, and how I do it, how I charge. I'm going to show you my students, how they launch their own successful piano tuning ventures, and I'm going to teach you how to start your own journey, and I'm going to give you a chance to do that at the end. So stay to the end. I have an offer for you to get into the boot camp, an invitation, a special invitation. So how did I get here? If you keep watching all the way to the end, I'm going to show you exactly how I got here and how you can duplicate my success. So I'm going to reveal the outline of the Apex Business Launch Framework. So again, stay to the end, because I'm going to invite you into the boot camp at the very end, and it's going to be amazing. So look, TJ was here a couple years ago, about 2 years ago. He started his journey. He made $50,000 his first year tuning. He started after about 2 months in the Apex program, and now he's a full-time tech. He owns Oak and Ivory Piano Company out there in Oklahoma. And then Karina, she's also, she was very young, and she kind of figured out on her own, like, I can make more money tuning pianos or doing some high-end skill than just working as like a waitress or something. I think she was just working regular like coffee shop jobs or whatever. So she started her own business a couple years ago as well. She's full-time now. She said way back here, I booked my first client through my website. So she launched her website right here with Apex, got her first client. Now she's tuning for MTSU, for different things. She's a songwriter. Look at this. She owns Greenway Piano Tuning in Murfreesboro. She's certified Apex Tech, and she did it. It just wasn't, it was something that she figured out on her own, like, hey, I want to make more money. And so she's doing that. Got great customer reviews on Karina. Emerson was a piano, like a piano teacher, violin teacher, music school owner in the up in northeast, and he realized there's no piano tuners up here, and so he got certified through the program. And now he texted me a couple months ago and said, "Man, I'm doing average of $600 a day when he goes out in the field." Now he's also teaching and doing other stuff, but he's able to use tuning to increase his revenue, increase his income, and actually do more stuff. So here's my family: Emily, Augie, and Bear. So there's Bear. He just barked and ran out there. But my wife is there, Emily, my little boy, Augie, and she's a stay-at-home mom. He's a homeschool kid. And we are a single-income family, and that is because I found piano tuning. Piano tuning has been, my largest single family, income. Now, of course, I have online courses and some other things I do, but piano tuning has been a real steady income that got me through even when I went and even lost my job. And I'll tell you that story as we go on. But piano tuning changed my life, absolutely changed my life. I was tuning a guy's piano, and I was waiting to get paid. I was waiting out in his kitchen, and I was looking up at his refrigerator, and he had kids there, like older kids and younger kids, just pictures of his kids and stuff. And we started talking. My son was real young at the time, and he said, "Yeah, my kids are gone. They're out of the house. They moved out. Like, I worked so much. I worked all the time, and then my kids left, the house." And so he just basically said, don't work yourself to death and miss the best parts of your life. And that's really what piano tuning has done for me. That was a great impression on me when I was in my early 30s, going like, yeah, what do I want to do with my life? Do I want to work all the time? My dad worked all the time, like 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I barely ever saw him. So piano tuning allowed me to do something a lot different with my life. And so I'm really thankful that I could actually take my boy out on a mid-Thursday. We're at a bowling alley on this Thursday just hanging out. We were really able to just do daddy days because I was my own boss. And piano tuning, you'll know as we go through this, it's very low key. It's not like a plumber, like my toilet's, flooding over my house. I need you here now. It's 2 a.m. This is like, hey, I need my piano tune sometime this week or even this month. It's been a while. So everybody's kind of chill unless you're working for some like high-end studios and they say, you got to come in right now, this morning and tune. And that does happen. But here's my boy. He comes with me sometimes to the studio. Here's him standing in front of a big console in a big studio, and he's just, hanging out. We would go out to eat after we tune and stuff. And so piano tuning, really, the big change that it did for me, it allowed me to do something, stress-free, kind of chill. Also allowed me to free up time and money for my own life. And this is a picture of us at the coffee shop in Springboro where I grew up tuning. And there's probably my favorite picture ever. But this is kind of like the epitome, like the big picture of what piano tuning can do for you. Really owning your own business and being sort of an independent music worker, being able to charge, kind of name your own price and kind of go where you want to go. It's really great because right now the world does need piano tuners. You're in the right place, and it's the right time because many piano tuners retire every month. Men and women who've been tuning for decades, they turn off their phone. They built up thousands of clients. They just turn off their phones and they quietly retire. So this opens up a huge opportunity for you to come in and to start your business and to have work, because if you just get on the phone and try to call some piano tuners, they don't answer their phone. They're not even there anymore. Their businesses are sort of just kind of out because they got older and retired, and not a lot of young people are entering this field. So you can tune for all of these different places and you can make it happen because there's an opening in the field right now. So can it be this easy, really? You think like piano tuning sounds kind of complicated, and yeah, it is a little bit. There's a lot of strings on there. There's a lot of theory to learn and things like that. But really, the business model is pretty simple. You launch your business, your Apex style website. You learn how to tune pianos and get the skills you need, and then you use an automated system that I'm going to teach you about called Gazelle. It basically does everything for you, gets all your clients signed up for you, gets your schedule all together, and then you just go tune. About 2 hours, make about 175 to 275 profit. That's probably like an average. I mean, some people charge more, some people charge less, but a couple $100 an hour. And if you do that a couple times a day, then you're good. So what do you really need? All you need is a piano tuning hammer and some mutes. And this is the Apex Tuning Hammer Mute. Stay to the end because I've got a set of these for you. And then you need a professional piano tuning app. Like the best one that I've found right now recently is called Piano Meter. It's because it's got a free trial. It's only, I think, $60 a year if you get the pro version of this app, and it does a fantastic job. There are other ones out there, but that's all you really need to actually tune a piano. So let's look at how a piano is tuned one string at a time. I'm going to put a tuning hammer on this piano and show you just kind of what it would be like once you have your tools and you've got your stuff there and you're ready to kind of get on the piano and get some skills. Here's me tuning a single string on an upright piano. Watch this. All right, let's put the whole process together. We're going to tune this middle C. I'm going to mute out with my two mutes, the right and the left, and I'm going to make sure I'm on the right pen, follow my hammer up, and I'm going to tune C to stop the lights. It's a little flat right now. I'm going to pull it up and tune it perfectly to the lights. Notice I give just a little bit of a harder blow at the end. The lights are rolling a little to the left. You know, is that perfect enough? Probably good enough for now, but I'm going to do it again. I just want to pull it up. Just hit the note as I'm pushing down. And I get those lights to stop on that middle string. Now all I have to do is simply reach down and remove the right mute. I move it over to the other set of strings to get it out of the way. Now I'm listening to that middle string and that right string, okay? And so it sounds out of tune. Make sure I have a good angle on my tuning hammer. I'm going to pull back to get that above. Now I'm just going to tap it down. Till they sound like one string. All right, so you get the idea. Did you hear that? How right when I kind of moved that string, it sounded like two. It was like a wah, 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 and then it kind of turned into one string. And that's called a unison, or, you know, you're tuning two or three strings to one note. And that's how a piano's built. So it's just tuned one string at a time. You follow the computer through, and you're able to really just tune a piano. So let's do this. Let's come with me. A day in the life of a piano tuner. What I do in a whole day and what happens. Let's look at it. So I spend a lot of time driving. I spend a lot of time meeting clients. I spend a lot of time working on beautiful pianos. I play music and I get paid. I get to play the piano and I get paid. Pretty well, actually. So let's look at this. So a normal day in the life, I leave the house around 9:30. Tune a piano at 10 o'clock for $225. You know, it takes me about an hour and a half. Take a break. Tune a piano at noon with a pitch raise. I charge $325. That happened to me this week. I walked in to a regular tuning, and the piano was so out of tune, I had to charge an extra $100 to do a pitch raise, so I made $325. And it's always good, a little bump in your pay. And repair a pedal at my next appointment at 3 o'clock. I'll probably eat lunch, go to repair a pedal and tune piano at 3 o'clock, $275. So pretty standard day if you got a couple appointments, making $875 per day, and that's all you got to do. You just kind of kick it like that. Now, I got here because I lost my job. So I was working a full-time job as a worship leader way back. It was like 2007, and the economy was really bad, and I had been training my worship team, getting my teams ready, and the church was kind of running out of money. I didn't really know how much money they were running out of, but they ran out of enough money. So I walked into the office on Monday morning. My boss called me in, and I was making about $800 a week back then, and that was about 50,000 a year. And it was a good, sweet gig. It was wonderful. And he said, look, hey, we ran out of money. We're just going to use the teams you've trained. We're just going to let that go, and we're going to let some of the volunteers just do your job. And I was like, oh, crap. You know, like, okay, all right. Now, I was ready for it because I was kind of ready to just do my own thing. And I was already learning piano tuning because I met Jack while I was at that church. And he had got me working on a piano that was on fire. It was in a house fire, and it got donated. So I was cleaning it up, and he was putting strings on it. And he said during that time, you should be a piano tuner. You know, you should do a piano tuner. So when I lost my job, that's it. I went home and I told my wife, like, look, it's done. And she was fine too. We were both kind of like tired of like church drama and working, you know, this big production, you know, thousands of people. It was a big church. So it was a lot of pressure, like a lot of performance pressure. And so I was kind of like, you know what, let me just try to do what Jack's doing. He was like, you know, you should tune pianos. You're going to be good at this. I said, if I can just get one tuning a day, then I can match my full-time income. And that's what I did. You know, it was a little bit hard at first, but right away I just went in. I started asking people if they would get their pianos tuned. I went to a church and the guy said, yeah, come tune it. And I started making money. I'm like, well, this works. You know, I just go, I say, I tune pianos. They say, hey, we got pianos. And it actually really worked because I doubled my business every year for about 5 years. When I was just getting started though, let's do some math. And then I'll talk about my doubling of my business and how you can really ramp it up. And that's kind of what I teach you to do in the business framework. But just getting started, if you were charging $150 for a tuning, that's a basic standard tuning, and you tuned 5 of these a week. Okay, so that's $750 a week. That's working only 10 hours a week. You're making $37,000. So that's just if you want a side hustle, you want a weekend warrior type thing. Like I'm gonna tune a few pianos on Saturday, maybe one on Tuesday night. And a lot of people do that. They just kind of do this as an extra income, and I think it would be a phenomenal extra income because that's an extra almost $40,000 a year working, not even part time. All right. So if you're thinking of driving Uber, working at Lowe's, doing all these jobs that people do, they don't come anywhere near this kind of income for 5 or 10 hours a week. Not even close, guys. Turn up the gas. If you're like, okay, now I'm working, I've got some clients, I'm kind of doing this. Maybe this is around year 2, and you say, you know, I'm gonna do 9 pianos a week. You know, this happened to me. I said, well, I'm doing 1 a day now, but really, I've got the rest of the week. Like I'm kind of bored. Why don't I just try to do 2 a day? And so I kind of ramped it up, and then I was doing 2 a day. So I was making about $1,500 a week, working part-time still, making almost $80,000 a year. Now, this gives me time for family, time for creativity, time for ministry, time for volunteer work. And let's just be realistic here. The per capita income for the U.S. in 2020 was $59,000. Now, I was working still part-time, making over the per capita income in the United States. We're going to talk about money a lot because when you talk about piano tuning, you really, besides the art of piano tuning and being a piano tuner, you really have to make sure this makes sense for me financially because you're going to enter into a journey of building your business. The Apex Business Framework, I doubled my business every single year. I hit master status. I got big momentum. My reputation and my marketing were working. In fact, other piano tuners in my area were like, why do every time I type in piano tuner, all I see is you? Well, because I was working on my digital marketing, and I teach you all of that framework in the Apex mentorship. So remember, everybody you tune this year needs a tuning next year. And so we just have a repeat business that we can do. And so this is what really, if your dream is to own your own business and to say goodbye to the 9 to 5, you can do it with piano tuning. I'm going to show you how to do it. You might say, well, I've never run my own business, and if you know statistics, you can know that 50% of businesses fail within 5 years. Okay, but that's not going to be a problem for you because you're going to slow roll this thing out. You're going to use the Apex system, and just like me, you're not going to fail. You're going to do the simple things that I teach you to do in the mentorship, and it won't matter if you've ever run your own business or done anything because I'm going to show you how to do everything the Apex way. So we leverage technology and the right tools, and you can make more money. Okay, so you get online bookings from your website. You use automatic 6-month and yearly reminders. You send out day of emails and texts. All this stuff gets done for you automatically with the automated system. Okay, you keep your schedule full and organized. You can run some ads. You keep in touch with your clients. You upsell to make even more money, all in the Apex way because we're leveraging automation. We're leveraging technology and tools to actually make all this work for you. So I don't really even do anything, guys. When I'm using my Gazelle, I just run some Google ads. I just built my website to be very strong. And when people go there, they just read about it, they book the tuning, and I show up. I don't even talk to them. So a lot of this is an automated system that's working for you. And that's really key. Okay, not only the Apex tuning way, but the Apex marketing way. You're going to learn to do that to get ratings, to get reviews, and to get online bookings. And that's really where your money comes from. So it takes the guesswork out of running a business, and that's exactly what I can help you do in Apex. When you launch with Apex, you can launch fast. Now, typically within 3 to 6 months, you can actually be out there tuning. You have a field tech mentorship. So once you get out there tuning with Apex, you actually have a mentorship. You have me and the online community, so you'll have support. You have lifetime support, and you'll be an alumni of the program once you get through. So you're running your business, and you can get support all the time. We have an app I'm going to show you. So you basically have connection with everybody who's been through the program, and these guys are working in the field. Some of them are even becoming mentors in the program. So you have me, and you have this basically team and army of guys and girls who are basically doing exactly what you want to do. And because of the electronic tuning device, the ETD method, this is an AccuTuner, you can skip years of struggle, you can skip years of uncertainty, and you can start tuning for pay quicker with Apex than any other program out there, any other method that's taught online. You can start quicker and more efficiently and actually get a higher rating with the Apex way. That's why it's called tuning the Apex way. I teach the electronic tuning device method, all right? It's a simple ETD tuning app. You can use an AccuTuner, a TuneLab, piano scope, piano meter, but I teach you all of the skills and the theory behind this so you can learn how to set pins and tune clean unisons and do all that. The oral method of tuning takes years and years to learn, even decades. In fact, my mentor Jack was tuning by ear for 20 years before he discovered the AccuTuner. Once he discovered the AccuTuner, he never went back. You know, he was tuning pianos in a store, and his friend was tuning pianos in a store, both of these guys. And Jack realized that his tunings weren't as good as Tim's. And Tim was just a part-time guy. He was an airplane mechanic, a part-time tech. I mean, he was a good tech, but Jack was like, man, I should be able to tune as good as Tim, but his pianos sound better than mine. And he went to Tim and he said, what are you doing? How are you getting these pianos to sound so good and crisp and clean? And like just, you know, Jack was actually a really good musician. He had a record deal when he was 19 years old with RCA. So he was like a real musician. And he went to Tim and Tim said, well, hey, I'm using an AccuTuner, Jack. You should get one. Now, Jack immediately purchased an AccuTuner, never went back. So whenever you think about the oral method and things that you might learn online that takes forever to learn and perfect, and guys will do this like as an art, and they'll like tune the piano with a tuning fork and by ear and setting the temperament and all these things. Yeah, that's how they used to do it before almost everybody in the industry is switching over to the ETD now. In 1997, because tuning with a machine was controversial in the beginning. I mean, people were like, you know, nobody can tune a piano with a machine. The machine isn't going to do as good as my ear. You know, all these guys were like, oh, freaking out that it's kind of like AI. You know, AI can't write a better paper than I can. They were kind of mad that the electronic tuning method was sort of coming onto the scene, and they thought, no, I have decades of practice doing this by ear. Why would I need this computer? So in 1997, in volume 40 of the Piano Technician's Journal, they did the Great Chicago Tune-Off. Now, that's where they said, we're going to get two of our best guys. We're going to have them tune pianos, two pianos identical, and then over the weekend, when thousands of piano tuners are coming around into this convention, we're going to have them judge and blind vote for which tuning sounds better, okay? So it was kind of like a put it to the test. So they got their two best in the United States. You know, two of these guys are like the guys in the top, all right? The best concert technicians they could find, and they said, go for it. So, you know, basically you can find the article online, but what happened is, and this guy on YouTube, I got to shout this guy out. He actually made this whole video about this, and it's amazing. And I took screenshots from his YouTube channel. Right, here's the article. So what happened was they voted in, and the guy that used the computer, he's holding an old laptop. That's an old laptop, 1997 laptop. He won. They like 70-30. He like by a huge margin. The guy won, right? And so it just proves to you and to me and everybody from then on, if we can look back in history and know they've already had this argument. Tuning with electronic tuning devices cleaner, faster, easier, more efficient. In fact, I've heard some of these older guys that did oral methods, they're mad because the younger tuners can come in. We can tune 3, 4, 5 pianos a day. Boom, boom, boom. Just taking all the guesswork out of this, using basically like the power of AI and you know, automatic tunings to do this great job. And then they're just still in there trying to do their tuning forks by ear and struggling. And maybe they're only tuning 2 pianos a day because they're slower and it's harder to do. And, you know, I can tell you, I get a lot of calls and people ask me like, hey, I just want you to tune, but I need to make sure you use a machine, right? Because I don't want any, you know, ear tuning is very subjective. All right. So you can be really good at it or really bad at it, but it doesn't matter because once you're bad at this, then you don't get any clients and you get bad reviews and everything else. It's terrible. It's a terrible idea. Anyway, guys, listen, Apex, I'm the only school online right now that teaches this method. I'm the only school. Everybody else that you go into, all these other schools or online programs, or even you go to like college, they're going to teach you oral tuning methods. Okay, so they're going to slow you down, and it will be discouraging. I guarantee you that. So I talk to students all the time who've come from these other schools and said, yeah, I failed it. I didn't know what I was doing. I could never get it. And then they go in Apex and like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier. All right, so that's just how it is. Let's talk about what happens when you're looking for a change in your life, when you're thinking you're getting out of high school maybe and you're like, okay, I got to go to college, and it's kind of it's okay now. People used to think college was like the thing. Like, you got to go to college. Like, my parents were like, you got to go to college. Now I can see it's shifting, and they're going, well, wait a minute. There are trade schools. There are online programs you can do. There are YouTube videos you can watch and start your own business. It's a different world now. But this statistic is hugely eye-opening. 60% of confirmed bachelor's degree earners graduated within 6 years. And the average 6-year cost of attendance is $207,000. So basically, you're going to school for 6 years. You're spending over $200,000. And when you get out of school, you don't have a job like right away. Now, they'll tell you, oh, yeah, we're going to help you get a job. And maybe that's true. Maybe some people can get a job right out of college. Let's say that you do get a job out of college. So you're $200,000 in the hole by 6 years, and now you're going out to get a job. The median starting salary for a college graduate is $47,000. So you're going to start low. I mean, like I said, let's just remember way back here, I talked to you about TJ. He made in his first year, within the first year that he started this, he made $50,000. That's the first year that he started. It wasn't 6 years later. Now, in college, you're going 6 full years, and then you're trying to get a job where you'll work 40, 50 hours a week for $47,000 a year. All right, so basically, listen, it's a no-brainer. It's money and time. It costs less to learn this skill than going to college, period. And it's faster start, and you can make more money, period. Those are already two things I've proven. Now, depending on your degree, you might make a lot of money, but I know piano tuners that make plenty of money, like doctors and like lawyers. They make well over 6 figures, and they're running their own business, all right? In fact, there's a book out right now on Amazon, and it's called How to Make $200,000 or more tuning pianos. So, I mean, it's not like I'm making this up. This is becoming a mainstream knowledge base right now. So we understand that you can learn to tune pianos as a trade and make well into 6 figures. Okay. So that's just how it is. You want to work smarter, not harder. This is what my dad always used to say. Work smarter, not harder. Now, this guy over here tuning pianos, he's in an air-conditioned $1 million facility tuning probably a $80,000 piano. Nobody's bothering him. Look, he's all alone. He's at the solitude of playing the piano and tuning the piano, and he's making over $100 an hour, okay? Now, these two people on the left, this is manual labor. Now, these people could make $20 an hour, $30 an hour, maybe $40 an hour. Maybe if they're running their own business, they can kind of squeeze some more out, but they're working all day in the sun, in the hot, on their knees, in the gross, whatever this is, laying tile. I mean, I've done all this work, so I know this is hard work, and I can't do this work my whole life. In fact, I had a friend who was in his mid-50s, and he was like a handyman like this, doing tile and doing flooring, and he was telling me, like, my knees are killing me. I can't do this much longer. He realized, I can't do this work. Now, piano tuners, they could be like 80 years old. Just walk in there, tune the piano, walk out. It's just not physically that hard, okay? So let's try to think about this. Work smarter, not harder. That's what we're going to do. What will it cost me? All right. Indecision will cost you everything. Independence and control. Indecision at a moment like today will cost you flexibility in your schedule. It'll cost you financial gain. It'll cost you passion and creativity to sit and think, I don't know, I'm just not sure. It will cost you life impact. It will cost you almost everything you can think of. If you just go through life not deciding this is a great opportunity when you're faced with the time to change and pivot, and when I'm telling you, this is how it's done, and you're like, well, I don't know, I'm not sure. That's what will cost you the most. What will it cost you? What could go wrong? You say, well, I'll just take this guy's idea and I'll just go on YouTube and I'll just learn on YouTube. Look, I've seen so many videos on YouTube. I have thousands of videos on YouTube. I love YouTube, but learning an actual trade system on YouTube is extremely hard. And most of the time, this guy was like drinking beer, smoking a cigarette, laying in his basement, just like weeks later going, why am I trying to tune my own piano? He's so frustrated because people think they can watch a couple YouTube videos and then go tune pianos. It's not true. In fact, if I didn't have Jack, this is Jack, if I didn't have my mentor, Jack, I would not be here today. I would not be successful. I never would have built my business up. I would have ran off on my own tangents. I never would have seen what Jack showed me. He would always tell me, you got to stick with the big 4. He knew how to make money. He had 6,000 clients. He was working in one of the biggest music stores there in town. And he was the guy, right? He was the president of the Master Piano Technicians of America for like 15 years. You know, he was well respected, and he kept telling me, Eric, you got to tune, repair, regulate, and voice. The big four. These are the four things you got to do, okay? So I've included his 4 main field tech foundations in my courses, so you can skip the struggle. You can do it the Apex way. It's been proven over 50 plus years. I mean, Jack was in the field for like 30 years. I've been doing it over about 20. So I mean, like, guys, this is the way to make money. There's a lot of ways you can do things, but if you do this the Apex way, if you do it the way Jack showed me, you'll learn the big 4, okay? And then you'll put those to work making a lot of money. So just remember Jack. He passed a couple years ago, and I kind of miss that guy now. I miss him a lot, actually. Four Apex modules, all right? Tuning. The first module you learn in the Apex mentorship is tuning, and it's the most important, because if you can be a good tuner, you will have a skill for life. You will have a skill that will pay you over $100 an hour. You don't really need that many tools to do it. You can do it anywhere in the country, in the nation, schools everywhere. You know, that's the bread and butter. But I'm also going to teach you how to repair, because most pianos will be broken. You will have a broken pedal, a broken this, broken that. Things will be broken, all right? So that's just normal. I got some chats coming in here. Yeah, this is funny. Okay, what is he going to get my hair cut after working a couple hours, making a couple $100. Glad not to be tied to a 9 to 5. Yeah, see, that's TJ. He always pops in the webinar. Good for you. Get your hair cut. You look like a hippie. Anyway, so we got these 4 modules: repair. You're going to need some repair. Then regulation is the inner workings of the hammers, how the hammers work, and how the hammers move to the strings, how they let off, do all these things. If a piano's not fully nicely regulated, it won't have like fast repetition. People will know. So I teach you how to expertly regulate uprights and grand pianos so that people will go like, oh my gosh. And regulation is where I make a lot of money. I charge around $1,500 for regulation, and it takes me, like half of a day. Okay, so these are high-end skills, and voicing is also one of those things that not a lot of people know how to do. Jack showed me his method. It's called the Rapid Voicer System. We teach it in the mentorship, but that's like making the tone of the piano brighter, making it softer, making it beautiful, and high-end musicians will like this. This is where you'll get like a lot of bigger jobs, because you'll be the guy that can regulate and voice. You're not just tuning, okay? So these are the 4 modules in Apex, the main modules. Then we also have the business launch module and the VIP mentorship. So all of this is inside the mentorship. You're never alone. It's not a course. This is a real mentorship for real. It is a text, chat, call, Zoom. Like even tonight, we're doing a Zoom meet at 7:30. So I'm going to do something special at the end. I'm going to get you guys an invite to that as well. It's an internal like Zoom meet. So if you join in the Bootcamp today, you can get that meeting, and you can come in and hang out with us. So we're just doing Zoom meetings once a week. Connect and grow together. In the VIP community in Bolster, you'll have all your courses, you'll have everything you need, and that's what if you do the boot camp today, you'll do the same thing. You'll be in Bolster, you'll be able to come to our Zoom meetings, you'll be able to get to know us, me and other people in the Apex mentorship, and you'll be able to sort of do all of your training and learning and connecting inside this online platform called Bolster. It is our own platform. It's amazing. You learn every detail of the piano trade up close. You get field videos, easy to follow videos, and you can go on my YouTube channel and see kind of some of my videos, but you'll have actual coursework videos to do. Once you join Apex, you will be in an exclusive Apex Technicians network. Once you get certified, you'll be put on this map so people can find you. So let's think, how do you want to start? Okay. How do you start? And I'm going to give you basically exactly how you start right now. So if you're here and you're like, yeah, I don't want to do this. Okay, so we're into 30-minute time. The mentorship is invitation only. Okay, so the first step is to join and complete the 90-day boot camp. Okay, so basically during that 90 days, you're going to be in the boot camp. You're going to be learning how to tune. You're going to be learning how to tune unisons, use hammer technique, learn mutes. You're going to understand the whole piano. Basically, you have like a really tight skill. You won't be tuning the whole piano during that 90 days. You're just going to be gaining those skills of tuning single string unisons and unisons, hammer technique, all the stuff that's really the foundation of Module 1. You're going to learn that. During that 90 days, if it's right for you and you feel like that's right, I'll give you an invitation into the full mentorship, okay? So on step 2, you enter the full mentorship program and you learn to tune and repair. You launch your own Apex-style business. So during this time, we'll be doing all of the tuning of the full piano. We'll be launching your business. We'll be doing repairs, and you'll know what's going on. And during step 3, you'll already be working and making money. So this is where the Apex mentorship kind of pays for itself, because you're actually going to become certified at the end. But during that middle step number 2, you're going to be learning to repair and tune in the field. So you'll be going out making money right away. As fast as we can get you in the field making money, the better. That's really the key. I work with you guys because I want you to make money, and you can make money after you learn to tune. Okay, so then what if you go, you're tuning and like something's broken, you're not really sure what's up? That's okay, because that's what the mentorship is built to do over like a 2 or 3 year period where you're kind of new and you're like, you're fine. Just like when I went out, I didn't know what I was doing. Sometimes I'd call Jack and he would tell me. I'd text him, picture like, hey, what's up with this? And that's what I do for you in the mentorship. That's what kind of sets Apex aside from every other program. I am actually one-on-one helping you. You're in the field, you text me, I'm there to help you, right? So here's what you get. If you join the bootcamp today, you get 90-day training bootcamp access, lifetime access. You can go at your own pace. Okay, so it's a 90-day bootcamp, but it's not like you just lose your access. You're going to pay. You're going to pay today, and then you get access for lifetime to those trainings. Step-by-step lessons. You're going to learn to tune the right way. You're going to learn posture, solid technique, the foundation of becoming a master tech. You're going to learn single string tuning and unisons. You'll get VIP access. You'll come to my weekly live stream sessions if you want to. You don't have to. You get special one-on-one session with me towards that middle end of the boot camp to really talk about your market, your business. If you really want to launch your business, then we'll get you into the full mentorship. I'll help you with all that, including financing if you can't make payment plans or whatever you want to do to get into the full mentorship. But you'll have the opportunity to get the invite into the Apex mentorship during the boot camp. So it's one small step today, one single itty-bitty small step today into boot camp. So it all begins here. You learn to tune, you launch your business, you boost your business, you increase your skill, you double your business every year until you hit big goals. Now, Joe's in the mentorship. In fact, he's one of our mentors. And in May, he's been doing this about 2.5 years. In May, he did over $5,000 just in tuning. And he upsold over $25,000 in action regulations and rebuilds in May and June of this year. So, Joe says, Eric at Apex is an amazing way to get started in piano tuning and really learn what it's actually like to do the trade. He tells you how it is. It's an amazing teacher. Thank you, Joe. And he made the scary and daunting task of tuning a piano something I can tackle with confidence and go in believing I can do a good job. That's true. Joe's got to do a good job. In fact, Joe did such a great job that he became a registered piano technician in the Piano Technicians Guild. He actually also wrote and teaches in the mentorship the oral tuning Apex way. So we actually show you, if you want to become an RPT, we show you exactly how oral methods work. It's not what we focus on, but you'll get access to Joe's course. It's a phenomenal course. It shows you everything you need to do to pass those big RPT tests if that's your desire. And Joe's a very highly rated, very highly skilled tech, and now he's in as a mentor in the program. So he's there in answering your questions. But the best part is today you're only investing $497 up front. That's it. So if you want to do the mentorship, you can invest just $497 to get into the boot camp today. And here's how it goes. You start the boot camp today for $497. Okay, you'll get an invitation into the full mentorship to learn tuning and repair during that boot camp. So if you feel like this is full on for you to get going, you'll get an invitation. You can launch your business the Apex way, start making money, and this thing pays for itself. You can become a successful master piano technician. But the first step is today, just to start with the boot camp. It's $497. Now, if you do it today during the webinar, this week, if you get in right now, plus I'm going to give you tools, okay? I'm going to send you a carbon fiber tuning hammer and mute kit, and I'm going to send you a link for a free version of Pianometer. It's a great app. So all you got to do, if you want to start, is just go to apexpiano.com/bootcamp offer, okay? The link should be in the description of this video, but if it's not, just remember this, apexpiano.com/bootcamp offer, okay? All you got to do is go to that website. And the really cool thing about this is you can do the 90-day piano boot camp. It's $497. If you don't have $497 today, it's no problem. You can use Affirm. There's 4 interest-free payments, or you can get as low as $42 a month. So you can pick how you want to pay for this. It's really not like a super high-pressure thing. Look, it's $497, guys. This is one of those things that you think about. It's like this is an opportunity for you right now to make a change, a huge change. Now, remember, when you join this just for $497 today, when you get in the boot camp, I'm going to send you tools. So you don't have to buy anything else. And I'm going to show you exactly what you're basically going to be in the first module. You're going to be working through that first module. Within those 90 days, you're going to get really far into that module to where if you decide to go into the full mentorship, I'll put this $497 towards that. So you're basically paying ahead. So you'll be able to take this $497 that you've already paid and apply it to your entrance into the full mentorship. So that's amazing. If you figure out in 90 days, like, I just don't like this, I don't really want to tune pianos like I thought I wanted to do this, but this is too hard, or this just bores the heck out of me, or whatever, for whatever reason, no big deal. You've not really lost much. You've tried something new, and you've decided, like, hey, you'll know for 100% sure if piano tuning is for you, because I'm going to show you in this first 90-day boot camp everything you need to know to tune solid unisons and to really get your hands on a piano, and you'll get the whole feeling of the posture and the tuning and like the mechanics of doing it, because that's kind of what, people are like, well, what do you do? How do you do it? Like, you're going to know everything about it in that 90 days. And if you get that full invitation into the full mentorship, I'll help you get payment plans or like financing, and we'll take this $497 and we'll apply it to the full mentorship. So this is probably by far the best entry method to piano tuning, for sure the best offer I've ever done in a webinar. This is I'm excited about this, and I hope you guys are too. All you got to do is go to apexpiano.com/bootcamp offer and check out today. I'll get your tools in the mail. Okay. And then we're on the road. We're doing this thing. All right, guys, if you have any questions, for sure, let me know. All you got to do is contact me from the website. My email's on there. My emails, my text messages are on there, and you can go right in there and check it out. Go to apexpiano.com/bootcamp offer. Remember, you're going to start the boot camp. You're going to start learning that module 1, and then during that time, when it feels right, we'll give you an invitation for the full mentorship, and then you can launch your business, start making money, and become a successful piano tuner. I'll see you guys inside.